Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. Today we're going to talk about what is DTF printing, exactly what it is, and how it works. Now this is the first video in a series of videos about DTF printing, so there will be more information about this on this YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for all of those videos. I do want to talk about what DTF printing is before we get into the DTF hack. Now there is a hack out there that uses basically a sublimation printer for DTF printing, and I'm going to talk about that hack in a minute. But first let's talk about broadly what DTF printing is. DTF means direct to film. That means printing directly on film that is used to transfer to substrates like shirts. Now DTF is traditionally done with a DTF printer, and that printer has special ink and is especially made to print on rolls of film. Generally rolls, but you can also print on DTF film sheets. Now a DTF printer can print all the colors of ink, including white. So when you get that DTF printer that is a true DTF printer, it has white ink that can be added to it. And DTF printing works on cotton, it works on poly, it works on all colors of shirts, so all types of fabric. Now DTF printing does only work on fabric projects. You would not want to use it for things like a tumbler or a coffee mug. Before we go any further, I'm going to talk about safety and DTF printing. DTF uses a powder to adhere to the ink, and that powder is used as basically an adhesive to adhere the ink to the shirt that you're working on. You do want to use all safety precautions when dealing with this powder. You might want to consider goggles and a face shield to keep the powder out of your eyes and your face. You might also want to consider a mask in order to keep you from breathing that powder in. You may want to consider gloves to keep it off your hands, as well as an apron to keep it off your clothing because it is a powder and it will go everywhere. And then we're going to talk about equipment in a minute, but I did want to mention here that an air purifier or ventilation is also a safety issue. Within the safety section, I also want to caution you on the type or brand of powder that you use. I would use a certified powder, so Okiotech, and that I'll put that right here. It is a standard that companies can apply for. That means that the product is safe for human use. Now, quite frankly, I would make sure any powder that I used had this certification or at least something similar. So now that we've talked about safety, let's talk about traditional DTF printing and the equipment that you use. So you would have a DTF printer that would print using special ink onto film. Now to print to that printer, there's generally something called RIP software. The RIP software translates your design into something that has the right color combination, because a traditional printer would not have white ink, so that RIP software is needed to communicate between your computer and the DTF printer. Then when the film comes out of that printer, the ink will be wet, and you apply a powder to it. So a special DTF powder that you apply either manually, or there are shakers and other equipment that you can use to help automate that process. Then the next step is to cure that powder before you press. Now, what I personally would recommend is the specialty oven they make that has an air purifier on it. So the biggest safety risk you run with DTF printing is inhaling that powder and the fumes that the powder creates when you cure it. Those fumes need to be ventilated in some way. They make specialty ovens just for curing the DTF film that purify the air and filter the air. So it is an enclosed system and purifies the air before releasing it to your space. Now I have seen a lot of people cure their DTF film right on a heat press by kind of hovering the heat press over the top. And if you are going to do that, I would do that in a very well ventilated area, because those fumes are just going to spill out of that heat press. There is no way to contain them, and they can be harmful to your health over time. You would, however, need a heat press for the last step in the process, and that is to press that DTF film to your shirt. So you would need a heat press at the end to complete your project or your shirt. So now let's talk about the DTF hack that many people are using, where you use a sublimation printer and then you add the DTF powder to that sublimation print that's on film while the ink is wet. While this hack seems to work in a lot of cases, I have not purposely put out a video on the DTF hack. I am very concerned about the powders that people are using. I mentioned that I would use a certified powder, And then the second reason I'm concerned about this hack is that no one that I have seen is using an oven or air purifier or talking about ventilation and safety when using the powder and the fumes that it can create. So at this time, I am going to stick with more traditional DTF printing for this series. However, I did want to note that this hack is out there and people are using it to create kind of a DTF hack with sublimation ink on shirts of various types. I would just caution you that if you are going to follow one of those tutorials, be sure to keep all of the safety things in mind that I mentioned in this video, as no craft project or business should be hazardous to your health. So how does DTF work exactly? So that powder that you're putting on the ink is actually the glue that is going to hold the ink to the shirt. So the powdering and curing steps within the DTF process are very, very important. I also believe that the type of ink you use with this process is going to be important and factor in to the overall longevity of the project as well. So what are the benefits of DTF? It looks and feels like a screen print or HTV sitting on top of the shirt. So it does not embed into the shirt like sublimation. However, it is very elastic and it stretches, and it has a very long life. So it has high wash and wear resistant, and yes, within this series I am going to get in some tests on that so we can kind of compare it to other things that I've used to customize shirts. The other benefit that I see is that you can use white ink with it. So if you purchase that DTF printer, get those ink colors, you'll get white ink with it. And the white ink really makes your designs pop, especially off of those dark shirts. Now you can get DTF printers from a variety of brands in a variety of available print sizes. So what I'm gonna do is review one of those printers in a future video, and I'm gonna review a printer that is small enough to be used in a small craft space or in a small hobby business. Now a lot of people use a DTF printer to print onto the film, customize shirts, and sell the shirts. And there are tons of people that use a DTF printer to print those DTF prints and sell the prints by themselves to people and run their business that way. And there's even people that kind of do a combination of both. So we'll kind of talk about both as we go through this series. But what I would like for you to do at this point is to tell me in the comment section below what you would like to see from this series. What do you want to learn about DTF? What topics can I cover that will help you determine if DTF printing is the next step for your business or your craft hobby? And then third, any other questions you have about DTF, I am happy to answer them. Or if you have questions about another type of craft printing that you have seen, ask those in the comment section as well. I am planning my content for 2024 and would love to include the topics that you want to see. So now, if you like this and it helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.